Hey everyone, how's it going today? Sorry, we're just getting this thing started. Let me make sure my chat is up on the computer. And today's topic we're going to talk about here live. I figured it would be the last episode of Venom Vlog Live that we do probably between now and the end of the year, unless something comes up on Monday, like 2 days from now on the 30th. If something pops up that day, I'm off that day, so that'll be great timing if that were the case. If something pops up, we'll do another live stream at that time. But for now, I figured, I got to go to work in like 45 minutes. I got to leave, so we'll try to make this pretty short. But I just want to talk about some of the websites out there that are, I don't know, like I don't know what's going on, but I wanted to kind of give my perspective at least on something that comes as far as websites go, YouTube influencers, what I know about some of them. I'm not going to name any names because I'm not going to be that crappy of a person, but and plus it's not important. Who cares ultimately? But I just wanted to kind of give my perspective on why I don't really cover rumors too much on this show. Like the live chats here, like now that we're doing live chats, we can use this as a place where we can just kind of discuss rumors. But for the most part, I just want to explain why I don't cover them on the main show. Like I think I have maybe covered one or two potential rumors early on when I was first kind of getting into the flow of things. But then soon after, I was like, I don't really want to cover rumors because most of them are either untrue or I'm feeding someone's ego out there who took an educated guess and may actually, be right in the end. But I feel like not basing it on any real facts or any real knowledge or have any real sources. I feel like most people are just bullshitters and they've gotten good at bullshitting, and because of that is maybe why they have a following. So yeah, so we'll get into that here in a second. Let me pull up a couple of articles. The main thing we're going to talk about today is Tom Holland and this rumor that he, signed on to be in Venom 2 or whatever. It's so funny that this is making the rounds again when it was pretty much the day after the Sony deal between, Sony and Marvel. Like a day or two later, Kevin Feige said, yeah, and Amy Pascal or someone else, they all said, yeah, Spider-Man and Venom are going to interact in the same space at some point. And most of us with a brain were like, all right, well, obviously he's probably going to be the post-credit scene, much like how a lot of people didn't know, but guessed that Woody Harrelson Carnage, or at least Carnage, would make an appearance at the end of Venom 1. That was a guess by most people, and it turned out to be true. It was a pretty good guess based on, oh, Woody showed up on set, he was there for a day or whatever. What's up, Panhead? How's it going? Um, and and because of that, people were able to kind of guess, and that's what it is. That's all it is. All these people who are like, oh, I have scoops. Hey, what's up, Rohita? How's it going? Everyone out there who's like, oh, I have scoops, I have sources, I have people within Lucasfilm, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you why you really shouldn't hold that as anything. And some of those YouTubers and websites will say just to cover their own butts. They don't say it because they believe it. They just say it to cover their own butts just in case. But they'll say like, oh, take this with a grain of salt. This is a rumor, blah, blah, blah. They'll point out that it's a rumor, but then they'll proceed to talk like it's fact. And I'm not going to say I haven't made a mistake like that before. Usually, if I make that mistake, it's on information. Like if it's like, oh, I'm trying to describe this person's job, and I did as much research as I could, and then I try to fill in the blanks maybe of what's, not what I couldn't research. And sometimes I'll get that information wrong. That's one thing to get someone's job title or something wrong or research incorrectly. It's another thing to completely, hey, what's up, everyone? Michael, Lonely, how's it going? We're not going to talk about Mandalorian. We're here for Venom. We're talking about Venom. This is a Venom vlog episode, so I'll have to save my Mandalorian thing for like a Twitter post or something, because I don't really cover Star Wars stuff on this channel. But I did watch the last episode last night. Yes, Venom, what up? I made it. You made it, Michael. But maybe towards the end of the show, remind me, Rohit, and maybe we'll squeeze it in before I wrap up, if that's okay with you, because I do want to talk about like this Tom Holland stuff and this rumor. Hashtag We Are Venom. Yes, that's right. All right, so this article went up for the GG, the Geeks Weekly or something like that. Let me pull that site up, and they put in here exclusive. Tom Holland in talks for Spider-Man cameo. And then I saw another website put Tom Holland in early talks to be in Venom 2 as a cameo. And it's like, okay, he can't be in early talks. First of all, so you worded that incorrectly. The movie's already filming. He can't be in early talks. Those talks would have had to happen like a month or two ago before they started filming. And with Sony playing those cards, trying to get Disney to play ball with them, I imagine that Sony kind of knew that they were going to try to squeeze Tom into the second movie. So they already probably just said, you know what, we'll reduce it to a cameo at the end of the movie in a post-credit scene. So sadly, none of us are going to be surprised. Those of us who at least follow movie news online, we're not going to be surprised when we watch Venom 2 and in the end credits we're going to see Spider-Man. Most of us aren't going to be surprised, and that's still not 100% true. It's possible, right? So these websites that are running these articles now over the past 2 days, I want to explain on one reason why they're running these articles. One, because so Atlanta Filming is a guy we followed, and he's posted stuff before on his Twitter page and on his Instagram and stuff. And people have taken that information and run with it. We've used his information sometimes, but I do say like, hey, he's on the set. This time he's not on the set of Venom 2, but he was on the set of Venom 1, and he might say something that wasn't like spoilery or something. And I'm like, oh, he kind of mentioned this. He goes, but he does say, don't, that's just what I heard, and things can be wrong. I want people to know that when you're on a movie set and there are people outside and they're filming and they're taking pictures and they're all this stuff and they're just random people walking by. I've said this numerous times. I've worked on movie sets. People come up and go, "What are you filming?" And I'll say, "Oh, a mayonnaise commercial." Like that was like a running joke we did when I worked in Florida. Whenever someone came up and we're like, "What are you filming?" It was the Punisher movie, but we're like, with John Travolta and stuff, and we're like, "Oh, it's a mayonnaise commercial." It's like sometimes you're just joking around, you're just messing around. Oh, who's that character? Oh, he's playing Batman, or it's like you're kind of trying to dismiss the people, and also because you've probably answered that question like 20 times already. So you can't believe everything you hear on that level. That's like one thing. On a second level, you have like websites like this who write these articles exclusive Tom Holland in talks. That's not exclusive. Most of us had that conversation before that Tom Holland would probably be in Venom 2. So that website, that's garbage. That's not an exclusive. You aren't the first people to talk about that. You don't have a source that wrote you that. The article is badly written. And I'm not here to try to just crap on this person because this is why. Websites like this and bigger websites, sites bigger than this too, but these websites that are trying to grow, they need clicks. That's how these websites sustain themselves with advertisers. They can go to an advertiser and say, here's how many clicks we got this month. Wouldn't that be awesome if your ads were on our website? This is how many clicks you'll get, dinged for. Like people will see your ad this many times. So they come up with these dumb headlines and these BS articles to get those clicks. And that's, again, I'm not trying to crap on this person. They have a job to do. And their employer says, hey, no matter the quality, you have to turn in this many articles a day or a week or a month or whatever. And if you're going to continue to work for us, you have to do that, and you have to provide clicks. So these people have to break their brains in a way and go, okay, well, I want to be honest, but I also want to keep my job. So what do I do? And so they try to find these gray areas, and they often fail at it. So this exclusive Tom Holland in talks is bogus. It's not exclusive at all. Most of us have guessed that this was going to be the case, and we talked about it as early as the day after Sony and Marvel kiss and made up, which if you go back and look at my videos, that was a couple months ago. So most of us already theorized that anyway, but then it was pretty much confirmed by like words from like, Kevin Feige and other people at Sony, like Matt Tomac and stuff, who were saying like, yeah, we're going to try to squeeze Spidey in as soon as possible or whatever. Like he didn't say that verbatim, but I'm just saying like some of the articles we checked out and we're looking at. Let's see. The whole Tom Holland and Venom thing happened last time with the first Venom movie. I mean, that's even goes back that far. Like he visited the set of the first movie, and then there was people on Collider and stuff that were saying like, oh, he might be in the Venom movie, not as Spider-Man, but maybe just as Peter Parker or whatever. And you're just like, you're just scratching your head. It's at the time it was just Sony like just trying to to get something done. And try to force Marvel to like share these universes. And then when they couldn't force them to do it, then the deal went away. And then they were like, all right, maybe now we can do this. Maybe now we can, make this deal happen. And they did. So yeah, the Tom Holland thing, it's not new news. Like that's the crazy thing. Sir, also there are rumors of two Spider-Man theory, one in MCU and the other in Sonyverse. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. The two Spider-Man theories. So you're saying there's going to be a Spider-Man Tom Holland just for Marvel, and there's going to be a different Spider-Man for Venom. I don't believe that at all. That's not true at all. I'm pretty sure they have too much money invested in Tom Holland, and most people like Tom Holland, even if they don't like the Spider-Man movies. Like me, I'm not a big fan of Homecoming, and I'm not a huge fan of what's the second one, Far From Home. I'm not. I don't hate that movie, but I'm not a big fan of it. But the first one, Homecoming, I'm not a fan of, and but I still like Tom Holland. I'm like, yeah, he's good. He's a good Spider-Man. So I feel like he's too much of a bridge between fans. Like, most people like the guy at least, and so I feel like he's their Spider-Man. He's their money maker right now. So no, I feel like whatever rumor that is, I'll squash that right now. Even though I have no information, I'll say chances are Tom Holland is going to be Spider-Man and Venom. The most metal mayonnaise commercial ever. Exactly. In Venom 2, can we get Spider-Man and Venom team up to fight Carnage like in the comics and animated movies? Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, like I feel like cramming him into the story of the second movie is probably too soon, especially since Kelly Marcel was writing this movie as early as like February of this year, I think. And I think that's when they announced, like January, February, that they announced that she solely is writing the movie and she's working with Tom Hardy to bounce ideas off him and stuff. So I would imagine that they did not plan at that time, considering Sony and Marvel were still, working together on that level. I'm sure Sony was like, maybe we can squeeze him in for cameo, and if we can't get him, we don't want you to completely rewrite your movie. So I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna guess that they'll set that up for a third movie, and that they'll probably just do a movie called, like, I don't know. I feel like Venom 2 might just be called Venom versus Carnage, and Venom 3 would be Venom versus Spider-Man. If they want to do that kind of titling and keep the movies kind of uniform looking. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I think no. You'll probably, if you see Spider-Man in the second movie, I'm guessing. Just saying it's probably going to be a cameo. Um, Tobey Maguire is the best live action Spider-Man. Nice. I like Tobey. He's awesome. I wonder if they'll show Venom's ability to spit bullets back at those who shot him. That would be a great scene for sure. So anyway, so I talk about, being on set. Sometimes you give people BS answers. Sometimes you give them the right answer or whatever because you don't think it's that big of a deal. But usually you're under contract, even if you're working there on set, you kind of can't really go over too much. And some people on the set might even tell you, like, hey, you can't really say this stuff. So we're trying to keep this hush hush. And most people who are professionals who work in the industry know that. And they're just like, and they may not even care. They're like, hey, it's just a job to me, but still it's a job. And I want to get the next job. So I'm not going to tell you jack shit. So we have that, and then you have these websites who, like I said, I'm not going to totally dog on this individual who wrote this article, but more or less the website who pushes for this, and then other websites who have caught on. I mean, literally yesterday people were like, tagging me in a couple things, and then I saw like posts that were sent to me, and then I just saw in my feed everyone talking about this Tom Holland thing, and I'm like, how short is everyone's memory? I have terrible memory, and yet I feel like the world has amnesia or short-term memory loss, because I'm like, we've talked about this numerous times. This is not an exclusive. This is not news. This has already been discussed. We've already made videos on it. So it irritates me, but again, it falls back to, why are we doing this? Because probably it was either a slow news day, or the person who wrote this article saw something on Twitter and maybe they didn't see the news when it made the first rounds, or maybe they did and they don't care. They just needed an article to post today because it's nearing the end of the month and they have to provide so many articles per month. So they're just like, hey, I got another Venom, Tom Holland article or whatever. I blame the system that creates this type of thing. And then of course they don't care, because like the thing is, they're like, oh, people stopped clicking on our Venom article with Tom Holland in it from 3 months ago. People don't click on that anymore. So we need a new one now. So we need more. That generated this much clicks. So if you do it a second time, it should still generate, a good number of clicks. So I blame the system and the mentality, this parasitic mentality that these websites put on their journalists. And the thing is, a lot of these people will go on to hopefully become journalists with integrity and do things by the book, and have this way about them to where they really capture your imagination and maybe inspire someone out there to want to write themselves. Like, that's the best case scenario. But a lot of times sometimes these people who work on these websites and write these articles, their egos are through the roof, and you're like, why do you have an ego that big? just because you've been right on a couple of guesses. And that's I'm gonna use that to lead me into influencers on YouTube and Twitter. These influencers, and this is not just my opinion. This is the opinion. So I told you guys, like, there's people that I talk to at different corporations, different studios here in LA, and I rarely share information they give me. The reason why is because I know that they're telling me some of this stuff in confidence, so I'm not going to break that trust and go online and use that to gain followers. That's such a hollow win. I would hate myself at the end of the day if I did that to people who trusted me with information, because I'm trying to be taken more seriously than like the average influencer, which is why I grow at such a slow rate, because most people online aren't used to, and not only that, but I cover a niche. I cover Venom, so it's like a niche conversation within a niche, industry within a niche comic book, universe. So it's like, or a major comic book universe, but it's still, it doesn't gravitate to, maybe a lot of people, the topic at least. But for me, like, I'd rather slowly build an audience of people who don't expect me to just give you bullshit. I'd rather that, even if even if we never hit, like, we're close to 2,000 subscribers right now. Even if we never hit 2,000 subscribers, I'd still feel okay about that if you guys just knew when you came here, you weren't getting bullshit. That's all I care about. At the end of the day, that helps me sleep at night, where I'm like, oh, I didn't lie to anyone today. I didn't give them false information, the best of my ability. Like, sometimes am I going to be wrong? Absolutely. We all are human. We're going to be wrong, but I try my best not to. So that's why when I make my videos, I try to put a little bit more thought into some of them. Even if I'm not like the best editor or it's not the best setup, I still try to put the information is the important part for me. So yeah. Oh, what's it say? Sorry, I'm missing some comments here. I wonder if they'll show Venom's ability. Oh, I read that part. Gotta get those clicks, baby. Everything is always pure trash. What's up, Eddie's Mullet? How's it going? It's true. It's true. Why do you think there's no photo from the set of Venom from people taking photos? Is because they're probably filming inside, do you think? Yeah, I'm sure they're filming inside right now. They have a sound stage. And then the one time they filmed the Ravencroft, that could have even been inside. Even though it looked like it was outside in the woods, that still could have been a set inside a studio. So yeah, so I have no idea. Yeah, we haven't seen any set pictures yet. Just stuff that Tom posts and deletes. Sir, how will Tom Holland Spider-Man crossover MCU? Share your thoughts. I'd like I just said, he'll probably show up in a cameo, and then they'll figure it out from there. I don't want to speculate too much on that, because I don't really. It doesn't. I kind of liked Venom on his own, so squeezing Spider-Man in now, I'm like, all right, everyone else is going to get what they want, but this isn't kind of not really what I wanted for the franchise. But I'll still watch it because I like Tom Hardy as Venom, and I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So I think together on screen they could be really awesome. So I'll give it a chance. Oh, you're awesome, Lonely. Oh, this isn't me trying to pat myself on the back either. What I'm trying to say is that I hope Jeremy Conrad guy doesn't make rumors of hardly any Venom again or hardly any Carnage. So people like that. So some of these guys, like, and I'm not saying him in particular, I don't know him, but and I haven't really followed too much of his stuff after the last rumor he got like completely wrong, where Tom Hardy literally like called him out indirectly, was funny. So since then, I'm kind of like, all right, he's one of those type of guys. So I haven't really followed him too much, but for the most part, like, these influencers, and some of these article writers, they just think they know everything. They think they know the industry. They think they know everything. They think every piece of information that comes to them is true. And even though they'll say in their videos or on their tweets, hey, this is just a rumor, I heard it from an insider, so take it with a grain of salt. Even though they say that, they just say that to cover their butts, because most of the time they say that because they know they're full of crap. They still, there's a part of their brain that has given in to the fact that they're top dog, that they're top shit, and that everything they say is golden. And some of these people, they are like that. And I'm not saying that's my perspective. I'm saying I know that they're like that. So some of these places that I've talked to, I'll be like, look, you may give me information, but I'm not going to repeat it, and I'm not going to say it. And they'll tell me like, oh, well, this is maybe safe to say, or would you like to know this? And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I actually do want to cover this show, the Venom stuff. I like covering it as a fan and getting a fan's perspective, like a super fan's perspective. So I don't want to be privy to too much information. I might like I'd rather pick and choose which information comes to me first, and then I want to decide for myself if I should share that with people or not, or if I think it's too spoilery. So I try to filter, that information that comes in, and some of those people have since wrote me and said, "Hey, we really appreciate that you're like this." Like usually when we work with a YouTuber or something, this is what they're like, and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." And of course, that's just their words. I'm like, I don't know if that's true, but I have friends who work at the studios, like really good friends who we are always honest to each other when it comes to like industry stuff and story ideas and pitches and things like that. And we're very open with each other. And some of those people have told me, yeah, these influencers are dicks. Some of them, I can't even work with them. And I've talked to, this studio or whatever studio they work for. I don't want to give anything away, but they're like, I've talked to my higher ups and said, don't make me work with these YouTubers anymore, or I don't want to work with this Twitter, follower or this Twitter person anymore, just because they have a blue check mark and they have 40,000 or 50,000 followers. Like they get information wrong all the time, and or they're too stubborn. They won't listen to the information I'm actually giving them, and they paraphrase and they regurgitate in a bad way, or they put a spin on it. And obviously that comes with the territory. Sometimes sometimes you have to put a spin on the article to help sell it, but not in the detriment of getting the information wrong. So that's why other YouTubers, slowly I've watched less and less of them, as far as like people are out there trying to influence. If they do reviews or things like that, I still watch them because I'm like, oh, I want to hear their opinions. But if they're out there and they're just like spreading news like this, it's like, yeah, I'm not behind that at all. I think you will. Oh, son, let me get. Yeah, me too, sir. Agree with your opinion. I'm not awesome. You are sweet as always. You're welcome, Lonely. Venom Panhead says, I think you will get 2,000 subscribers soon, especially with the hype of Venom 2. Oh yeah, why is that hiding? I don't know. Maybe you said a word in there that maybe hype is blocked from my page. I don't know. But I showed it so people can see your comments because it's very sweet of you. I mean, like I said, we're getting near 2,000. If we don't cross it, it's not the end of the world to me. I'm like, hey, I just want to know that the subscribers I do have, I just want you to know that I try not to just give you bull crap. If I do occasionally, it's not on purpose, and it's only because I've tried to do as much research as I can, and maybe I screwed something up. I'm only human, but I'll at least make a video admitting that I screwed up if that comes to. I mean, you guys saw, I think season 1, Tom Hardy posted a picture and he said, "This is where I met Woody." And I was like, "Oh, Woody Harrelson, that's in the woods. Are we going to get a scene of of Tom Hardy and Carnage in the woods? Is that the cameo or whatever?" And I was theorizing that, and then someone wrote me, or a couple people wrote me and said, "Oh, actually, Woody was one of Tom's previous dogs that he owned who passed away." And I was like, "Wow, okay, I should have done more research on that." So I deleted that video and made a video instantly after apologizing for getting my information wrong. So I'm not above correcting myself, and and if I have wrong information out there, I don't want it to stay out there. Hence that one video I took down on the someone who worked on the Venom movie said, "Oh, you got some details of my job wrong." And I said, "Oh, well then I'll delete it. Like I'll delete the video." Like, or he asked me, he's like, "Can you delete it? I feel like, I don't want that information out there. That's not really what I do." And I said, "Oh, okay." I researched as much as I could. I even reached out to the guy and said, "Hey, can you help me clarify your job title?" And never got back to me. So of course I was pissed because I'm like, dude, I wrote you and you ignored me because I'm a little guy, but I'm actually trying to get details right. And now that I've made the video and it's 6 months old, you want me to take it down. And I'm just like, I'll do it, because I don't want to post wrong information. But at the same time, I'm like, it's 6 months ago. Like I'm missing an episode of my show, not that that's that big of a deal, but whatever. Hey, what's up, Angel? How are you? I'm fine with whatever happens Venom 2 as long as it's good. Yeah, me too. But no, either way. So and thank you, Lonely. I appreciate that. I figure if Sony's entirely in control of how Spider-Man crossover into Venom, they will use Spider-Verse to get him there. They will say that they're both already in the same universe as well. Yeah, they'll do whatever short, simple explanation they can come up with. They'll do that most likely. And thank you guys for the 3 thumbs up. I appreciate it, and the 10 people watching. So that's all I really want to talk about, was just like this article saying exclusive, Tom Holland is in talks for Venom or Spider-Man 2, or being Spider-Man cameo in Venom 2. Yeah, no shit. We talked about that a while ago. And then someone else put on their article, Tom Holland in early talks. It's like, it can't be early talks. the movie's filming. It's late talks if he's having the talk now, but he's not. He probably had the talk a while ago. They probably sat him down and said, "All right." After he called Bob Iger, I think he like said he drunk dialed, or Bob Iger called him and he was like in a pub drinking, and he was like sad, like that, that Spider-Man might go away from the MCU or whatever. Um, Whatever that story is, I think that's just out there for clicks too. Kind of like the John Boyega thing. We'll talk about Mandalorian here in a second, I guess. But the John Boyega thing where he lost his script, it's like, sure he did. Yeah, some of these websites or these studios, they just do what they can to drum up articles written about their movies. So like, I'm sure Sony right now is so happy about this. They're like, oh great, you're mentioning Venom 2. That's great. It's get Venom 2, get people talking about that. So Sony's not mad that these articles are going up. And that's the thing, is sometimes people are like, well, if information out there is wrong, why doesn't Sony and all these other studios come out and say they're wrong? And it's like, they will if it's dangerous. Like if it's too dangerous for them, they'll come out and say, hey, we need to make a comment on this. If it interrupts, either some kind of marketing technique they have, or if it paints them in an uber negative light or whatever, they'll come out and make a comment. But for something like this, they're like, whatever, let these stupid influencers and these websites who have no sources, let them write whatever the hell they want, because it makes us look good, because Venom 2 is now could possibly be trending for a day, or Tom Holland could be trending for a day, and all that leads to money for us because we could use that. So there's a system in place, and that's why Sony ultimately doesn't care. But at the same time, it's like that's a little bit why I care, is that this isn't news. So it's like, but these websites, they don't give a crap about that. And some of the, like I said, some of the YouTubers out there, especially ones that one of my friends worked with, they were talking extensively about how bad because they mentioned a couple names. I'm like, oh, I know those YouTubers, and I think I follow a couple of them. And they're like, oh, let me tell you about this experience. Let me tell you about this experience. And I'm like, wow. And I didn't realize the size of the ego of some of these YouTubers, who I'm like, oh, they seem so cool and chill on their show. Like or some of them, I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see that. And maybe I can see that more clearly now that you tell me this story. But it's weird, because I'm like, I guess I never thought, like, I hope to God I never become like some of the stories I heard, because it sounded bad. Like I couldn't believe that someone who's actually produced television and worked on stuff is giving feedback to a YouTuber, and the YouTuber is like, I know what I'm doing. And you're just like, come on, like, don't you want to learn something? Like, don't you want to grow in any way? And that's the thing, is like, a lot of people nowadays, they put up a wall. I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice, right? Like, everyone's just like, I don't need to learn shit. I'm already a teacher. I'm not a student anymore. And I've always been taught that the day you see yourself as that is the day you miss the point of even existing. That you should always want to be a student. Always. You should always thirst for knowledge on some level. And yeah, there's going to be some things where you're like, hey, I do know what I'm talking about here, and you stand your ground on those. But then there's going to be stuff where it's like, just admit that you don't know what you're doing. Because ultimately, what you should care about is either the product you're making, or the show you're doing, or whatever it is. That should be more important. For me, it's the information. I try really hard to make sure the information I give on my main show is not bullcrap information. It may be my opinion. You may think it's bullcrap. You may be like, dude, your opinion's bullshit. I don't agree with you at all. That's fine if that's how you feel. But it's still my opinion. But when it comes to, like, talking about something news related, or talking about something behind the scenes, camera wise, I try my best to do the research if I don't know it. And I'm still gonna make mistakes, but I'm gonna try to deliver the most accurate information I can to you guys as possible, which is why I don't make videos on stuff like this, especially after it's already been talked about. Like, we made a video called Sony and Marvel Kiss and Make Up. And in that video, we kind of discussed the potential of Tom Holland. So that was it. That's the only video I'm going to make on it. And all these people, unless we see Tom Holland swinging around as Spider-Man in Venom 2, it's probably the last video I'm going to make on that. So that's why I wanted to kind of talk. Hey, what's up, Swordsman? How's it going? That's why I kind of figured that, quote unquote, the talk. That's why I figured, we should make this episode before I go to work today. We can just kind of talk about why, why I don't put a lot of stock into rumors, why, like, when I see articles like this, I roll my eyes, why I don't really follow a lot of other YouTubers who cover movie stuff anymore. It's because that a lot of them have these egos, and they're just like, I'm right, you're wrong, and I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Um, and a lot of people drink their own Kool-Aids. That's why like I haven't got into like some of the comic book people. Like there's like, out there. I mean, there's that whole like back and forth, like Comicsgate, non-Comicsgate, all that stuff. I don't care about any of that because I think both sides are just people who drink their own Kool-Aid, and I just don't want to be one of those people at all. No matter where you stand, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. It doesn't matter to me. If you drink your own Kool-Aid, I write you off. I'm like, I don't want to talk to. I can't have a conversation with somebody who thinks every word they say is the best words ever. um, Bruce, what's up? Hey, Siike, how is you keep it 100, and that's the reason I enjoy tuning in. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I agree with you on the ego point. Yeah, there's too much of it out there, and that's why I'm totally okay with being wrong. Like if I say something and someone's like, "Dude, you're wrong," it's like okay, or if someone has a different opinion, I'm like, well, I'll hear it out. Like I'll still probably defend my opinion on some level if unless you shake my view on it. And that's happened a couple times where people go, oh, I think you misinterpreted this line in this comic, and when if you look at it from this angle, it kind of means this, and you're like, and I've done that before where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. I'd love to see the actual negotiation between Sony and Marvel last year. Was shocked how many people were mad at Sony for standing their ground. People forget how Sony, Fox, and Lionsgate saved Marvel. I mean, that's the thing is Marvel would not be here if it wasn't for all the movie deals that Avi Arad made with Fox and Sony and Universal and stuff with Hulk. Yeah, like Marvel would have tanked. I'm sure someone would have bailed them out at some point. But could you imagine we live in a world where DC, like Warner Brothers, bailed Marvel out? Like Marvel was going bankrupt, and DC would like, and they kind of did, like with Marvel versus DC in the 90s. That was kind of DC's way going, DC going, hey, look, there are competitors and we need competitors, like in order to have a good business. So let's do a crossover with them, and maybe that'll help boost sales on some stuff. And that's why we got the DC Marvel crossover on some level. But yeah, then soon after Marvel started tanking bad. That would have been funny, wouldn't it? If Warner Brothers came in and said, we'll buy Marvel, and all of them are all under one roof, and you could have like a Spider-Man versus Superman movie. That'd be crazy. We may still get that one day if Disney keeps buying stuff. But yes, people were mad at Sony, and I'm like, dude, from a business standpoint, that makes so much sense for them to stand their ground. Why would they give up Spider-Man? And people are like, well, we want him in the MCU. It's like, but Sony doesn't give a crap what you want. And I'll be honest with you, Disney cares even less about what you want. I promise you that. Like Disney doesn't give a crap. Howdy, Bruce. What's up, everyone? It's good. Nice to be here. Pester Seek. You never a pester. But I'm glad to see everyone here too. And thank you guys. We'll probably wrap this up in the next couple minutes because I got to leave in 10 minutes. I got to jump in the shower and get ready so I can go to work. So I'm cutting it pretty close today. And I got to give my friend's pet some medicine. So we'll wrap this up. But real quick, Rohit asked me at the beginning how I thought of Mandalorian. I know it's not Venom related, but we'll just wrap that up. I did like the show. I thought it was awesome. The finale was great. It's nice to get a reaction out of Star Wars again. Like the cartoons, I really like. Clone Wars, Rebels, and even Resistance has kind of grown on me. So to me, that's my new trilogy is those three cartoons. But then when I watched Mandalorian, I was like, wow, this is great. It's not an amazing show, I don't feel, but it is a really good show. And I really like the ending. I was like, wow, this is really good. So I'm looking forward to more, especially like that little teaser at the end, which ties into Rebels, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Do I have a favorite live action comic book movie of 2019? Nope, I don't think so. What movies came out this year? I don't remember any. Was it Endgame came out this year, right? And Spider-Man? Was that it? Was there a DC movie that came out this year? Shazam? No. I guess not. I am liking Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, it's goofy, and you gotta take the flaws with the good, in my opinion, with the CW shows. But I'm liking it, and it was so cool to meet Superman the other day. I met Tyler, who plays Superman on Supergirl. I watched the episode, his first appearance when he showed up as Superman, and I liked it. I thought he was great. I loved him as Clark Kent too. I mean, I know people are like, oh, he's doing a Christopher Reeve thing. I'm like, I don't care. Like I like the Christopher Reeve stuff. I like Clark as kind of like a bumbling guy a little bit, like someone who's just like, and I don't think that's a negative. I think Clark is just that's who he is. That's his skin when he grew up in Smallville. He's just like, this is kind of who I am. Like some people see Clark as a transformation that he makes, and I'm like, I don't know. He was raised as Clark, and his powers don't define him to me. So I don't look at him as, oh, he's Superman becoming Clark Kent. I legitimately look at Superman as Clark Kent, and he just has powers, because he's Clark Kent first. That's who raised him. So yeah, and that all of his ideals and stuff come from a Kansas upbringing, and come from the upbringing of the Kents. So yeah, to me, I'm like, whatever. Comics haters will discuss things with you. Anti-comics haters straight up ignore you unless you agree with them 100%. In my experience, which is why I respect. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I think Comicsgate, a lot of people in charge of that are just people who drink their own Kool-Aid, and yeah, they'll discuss things with you, more than the other side. Absolutely, I'll agree to that. But yeah, I mean, I don't get into all that. I think both sides sound like whiny children to me, and both sides think they're all top shit, and it's boring. Like hearing people talk on that level, they're boring. I hope you have a safe day, Siike. Thanks, you too. Shazam and Joker. Oh, Joker. Yeah, I forgot Joker. Joker. For some reason, I thought that was last year, but no, that was Venom was last year, and that was this October. So yeah, Joker probably for the performance. I don't think that movie is like mind-blowingly amazing, because it pulls from a lot. It's like Bumblebee. I was like, oh, I like Bumblebee, but it pulled from too many '80s movies, for me to really give it too much credit. Because I was like, well, without these references, this movie probably wouldn't stand on its own. Joker's like that. I'm like, oh, without these types of storytelling techniques, it probably wouldn't stand on its own. So I like the performance in that movie. That was my favorite part. Was Joaquin really committed? Shazam is the only movie that comes to mind. Yeah, I remember Shazam. Brandon Routh is great as Kingdom Come Superman. I like that line where she's like, why do you have black on your S? And he said, because hope cuts through the darkness. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I think that's from the comic too. Maybe it's how they film it. That Supergirl guy just looks too small to be Supes. I mean, again, he's an alternate universe Superman, right? So like anytime they make a movie, I immediately go, well, this isn't the comic book, right? Like no comic book movie has been made to where they go, all right, this is set in the comic book universe. Like none of the comics have been made for that. All of them are inherently and immediately alternate universe stories. So for me, I wasn't, I don't care that he's not like 6'5" or whatever. I think really when you're trying to cast a character, you just try to cast someone who you think is going to portray the character the best, not just physically, but like emotionally, or just understands the character maybe, or someone you just work well with, or someone the studio has an overall deal with. So you never know why sometimes people get roles and stuff. But you get as a filmmaker and stuff, you got to juggle that. On TV, it's different. TV is a much easier animal when it comes to directing. It's not, you share the show with a bunch of other people, so it's a little less intense. Movies, though, it's a lot on the director's shoulders, for sure. So yeah, it's from Taxi Driver. Yeah, Taxi Driver. What was it? King of Comedy, stuff like that. But no, I got to go too. Thank you very much, and yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. But I just wanted to kind of talk about that whole thing, like just rumors and how these websites operate. I know a lot of you guys already know this stuff, but I just wanted to speak on it because this was irritating me. Like, and I shouldn't, and normally I try not to get bothered by what people do online, but sometimes I do have a reaction. And this time I was like, well, I have a little bit of time before I go to work, and this could be a good way to do a final Venom vlog episode, like a live stream, because as you know, in like 2 weeks, I'm going to bring the main show back. So unless any news comes up on Monday for Venom, this will be our last Venom vlog for the year. And then, we'll pick back up next month as well. And we'll probably just go to doing one live stream a month at the end of the month. So that way we can do a whole month of like news and comic book reviews. And then our live stream at the end of the month will be for rumors, and then a recap of all the stuff we went through in that month, so I can get your guys' opinions on them in the comments. That way you guys are more involved with the show and the topics we talk about. So if you leave comments on videos, I'll read those on live streams moving forward and stuff. So that way I can get you guys more involved. So even if you miss a live stream, you could still be part of the show by commenting on the videos. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we also, speaking of Superman, I launched a Patreon. I would say don't donate to it yet. Someone already did. And I feel bad because I think if you donate now, they charge you for the month of December, and I have no content that's going to be posted in December. I'm going to post my first episode in early January. So it's going to be a 52 episode Superman show only talk about the comics. We're not going to talk about the movies or Smallville or I mean, I might mention them from here and there, but for the most part, it's just the comics. And we're going to go from Action Comics #1 to Doomsday Clock #12 throughout the whole year. So all of next year, it's going to be a 1 year love letter to Superman. And then I thought about adding a second tier. Right now, it's just a $3. If you donate, you get 4 podcasts of Superman a month. But I think I'm going to add on movie commentaries. So I think because I know I missed out on doing the Friday the 13th stuff and everything like that. So I figured this would be a good way. So I'll record maybe one a month. I'll watch a movie and record a audio commentary for it, and then that will be posted on Patreon. So you'll get 4 Superman episodes, and then for the $3 tier, and I think for a $5 tier, you'll get the 4 Superman episodes and a podcast and a audio commentary. So I'll probably start. I was thinking about starting with the Resident Evil movies, and then going into the Friday and some of the Friday 13th, maybe one of the Friday 13 movies or 2 of them, and then Predator and things like that. So maybe I'll do more than one a month. I'm just going to start one a month for now, and then escalate, as I have more time. So you're officially Venom free now. 2 books came out with Venom content. How does it feel? Oh, it's great. I love it. Like, I saw Donnie Cates post something earlier that Venom 22 is the craziest issue he's ever written, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I did. That was my exact reaction. I just looked at that tweet and I go, good for him. And I just kept scrolling because I don't care. Venom Island, I'm like, I don't care. I saw the preview pages, I think, and it was like someone posted them on Twitter, and it was like him denying acceptance into the Avengers or something like that, and I'm just like, I don't care, man. I don't, whatever. Carnage is in Eddie's head in his last issue. Someone else told me that, and again, I don't care. Like, it's funny because Venom has eaten Carnage before. We've talked about that on the show, where he's taken the Carnage symbiote, ripped it off Cletus Cassidy, and he digested it. And you know who wasn't talking in his head when he digested it? Carnage. Carnage wasn't even there. He wasn't even voiced in Eddie's head. I think later on they didn't get separated. I don't know whatever happened to that. Like, the suit got manipulated by some weird guy that was like tormenting Peter Parker. And then Carnage, eventually Cletus got another Carnage suit from a different dimension, from the, whatever, from the negative zone or something. And so I don't know. It's like comics, right? Yeah, Kate said that about Kate says that about everything. Oh, what I'm doing in the next issue is a life changer. And I'm like, it's not a life changer if I don't care. But good for him. I'm glad he's still excited about what he writes. Yeah, it's Savage Avengers. Yeah, I hear you. It's I get you with that one. Sir, your favorite Venom comics till now? Do tell. Well, I'll have to say that for another stream because I gotta go. I gotta leave for work like really soon. So but I would say I mean, I go back to the original stuff. Like, I like Lethal Protector. That's a fun book. And I like little things about most Venom comics. Even Donnie Cates, there's stuff he put in his book that I do like genuinely. I'm like, wow, these are good ideas or whatever, or good concepts. So I try to like something, about all of them. Evil Within surprised me when we reread that. I liked that a lot more the second time reading it. And the madness was kind of fun. It was a dark book, but it was kind of fun. Go make them money, Siike. Yes, I will. But thank you guys. And yeah, I'll come back. I still have another Transformer live stream to do before the end of the year. So maybe we'll do that on Monday if there's no Venom news. And then we'll got some video game streams coming up. And then I have my interviews with Philip Van and Sam Liu and Brendan Vietti. I'm still working on and trying to edit. And I'll try to work on those more on Monday and get those up as soon as possible. So thank you guys so much. Take care. Thank you too. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Everyone out there, I appreciate you being here. And thanks for listening to me rant for 45 minutes. It means a lot. And I'll come back with more content very soon. Take care. Peace.